What's up everyone, Sean here, and today in this video I would like to sit down and take my time to give my thoughts on Kubo and also review it as well. Got a chance to see it. I actually didn't think about really seeing it until I went to my friend Chris's house, and we just pretty much planned to watch Kubo during that day. And by the way, he's also known as Quiet, as you may know him from the podcast and the Zelda Twilight Princess Let's Plays. So I watched it with him, and we really got the opportunity to sit down and watch Kubo, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. It's a visual freaking just a masterpiece, and seeing something like this in the theater and get bombarded by other movies such as even Sausage Party, and then seeing all the other upcoming movies most likely going to beat it, like Storks, and so on and so forth. It's just kind of really sad to see. Oh, and not to mention all the other like animated movies that are kind of coming out, and all the other previous ones that come out this year, like Secret Life of Pets, Sausage Party, and then the upcoming Storks, and also we had Angry Birds at some point too. It's really sad to see something like this get beaten by them, because Kubo is such an underrated film. It's gonna get stomped all over in terms of how much tickets were sold, and just like how much money it made. The guys at Leica, they just put so much work. You really can see it, especially with the behind the scenes. It's really nuts having to see that along with the movie. I've seen the behind the scenes even before that, and it was just crazy. It's such a freaking insane process, but it's really cool to actually see the movie being made, and really cool to actually see the actual movie, as the final product. And again, it's such a masterpiece, and when it comes to just visually looking at it, and not to mention it, not only it looks good, it's actually pretty freaking good in terms of the story. I really enjoyed it. It's really heartwarming. It's very just touches your heart, plays with your feelings, and you just feel good in a lot of the parts. And you really grow to really like these characters, especially Kubo, who is a young kid who has powers like his mother, who is also the daughter of the god, pretty much, who lives up in the heavens. He's think he's all perfect, and she also has sisters who are also who embrace their godlike powers or magic powers, and and this mother is the only one who is who understands humanity, who gives a care even for humanity, and embraces it, and eventually even falling in love with a human, which I will probably spoil later on. So that for those who are watching it right now, I'm going to spoil it later. But right now, I'm going to just review it, like give my thoughts about it. But so as I was saying, the mother, falls in love with a human, and they eventually have a child. And soon after that, she runs away with the child, and the husband or the father, dies defending, and they were able to escape, but the mother, gets messed up in the process. And this happens kind of in the beginning of the movie, but you don't really get to see how the husband meets his end in the beginning. You'll definitely find out later on, and it already really picks up in the beginning, really, and it only picks up later on. It's just the visuals really help, and it really tricks with your eyes. Like you really can't tell what's CG and what's stop animation or clay animation or whatever. I think in this case it's for the most part stop animation, but same principle, whatever, same result, and a lot of hard work is put into it. But anyways, it really picks up, and I really was already liking it, and I was just investing more and more and more as the movie went on. and I think this is a really good movie for the kids to even just watch. It's just such a visual, just interesting, piece, and the adults can actually enjoy the story. And this movie is, despite being animated, and a lot of people tend to see animated stuff as kid stuff, unfortunately, and that's why a lot of animated movies aren't taken that seriously as much as live action movies, who win all those Academy Awards and all that stuff. Even Miyazaki stuff isn't taken as much seriously as the other movies, and Miyazaki is viewed as a god of anime movies and stuff like that. But again, unfortunately, those movies aren't taken as much seriously as the other movies I mentioned before, and this is just another example. And unfortunately, this is another reason why Kubo is kind of doing not as well in the box office. It follows a Japanese theme, so that's another thing. So it's like it has this foreign theme going on, so it doesn't really entice a lot of the viewers to go see it, and it's really one of those really niche movies as well, which is also unfortunate as to why this movie is not doing well in the box office. It's just not earning enough money for all the hard work. And but anyways, I'm kind of jumbling all over the place, but it kind of all makes sense once you watch the movie. And like I said, it just really picks up, and you really grow to love Kubo. You really feel sorry for the things that he's going through, because of his mother getting messed up in the process of saving him and protecting him. She has this condition pretty much, which puts her into a semi-vegetative state because, well, she hit her head, and she receives a scar on her eye, around her eye, and the only time really she becomes herself is when the moon shows up, and you'll know why later on. So basically, nighttime she's like herself. She's able to express herself, really happy, tell stories, sort of, and Kubo is pretty much like having the best time with her mother, and until she grows tired and all that, she goes back to her vegetative state, and when it's daytime, she is really just lacking emotion, just sitting there, unfortunately, and Kubo really has to help her out. And Kubo goes to town, I think every day seems like, and tries to get money or stuff like that. And the people in that village know Kubo, seems like, and especially with the old lady. There are a lot of characters that don't really give their names, really, but you still feel sympathetic. You care about them. These characters are really cool, and you appreciate these characters in the movie. But anyways, so these people know Kubo, and Kubo shows off his powers by folding origami and bringing them to life, and that's kind of like what he gets from his mother. Mother has all the magic powers, so yeah. He channels it through is shamisen, which is like a basically it's kind of like a a very traditional Japanese equivalent of a banjo, and that's how he's able to execute his magic, quote unquote, and that's how he's able to fold the paper to whatever he wants and brings it to life. And that's what it's all about, the paper and just like something that, like leaves or something like that, folding stuff and make it into something. That's Kubo's power. So he shows us his powers. People, love it, especially the way he tells stories. He is a very passionate storyteller, and I really like that too. And this movie has a very strong theme of storytelling. And you'll hear about characters like, oh, your story's only beginning, oh, your story's gonna end, that kind of thing, and it's just something to really appreciate that much more. I think, and it really adds more to the movie. Basically, and then later on, Kubo finds trouble because he disobeyed his mother of staying um, out in the night, and of course he gets attacked, and his mother sacrifices herself to protect Kubo once more, and she passes on all her powers, or if not most of her powers, to Kubo, and that's where Kubo journeys to get all the pieces of the armor and stuff like that, and the sword and the helmet in order to face the god that's in the heavens, and and pretty much go from there, and kind of I guess show him what humanity is really all about. That's pretty much the plot of the story, or what the story is really about. It's Kubo, on his journey, and along on the way during his journey, he makes friends, a couple of friends, and you see the monkey and the beetle. The beetle is really cool. I really like the beetle. He was actually a samurai who was cursed, and he transformed into the beetle and lost all his memories in the process, and that's part of the curse. But he somehow remembers that he was a warrior of some kind, and he's really good with the bow and arrow. And his character is just so lovable. He's such a lovable guy, and he's like the strong one. He's the muscle of the team. And meanwhile, the monkey is like the mentor, and the very reserved, collected one, the voice of reason, the rational character. She is the backbone of the team, and of course Kubo is the main hero. And he's like the chosen one and all that stuff. But it's just like a lot of the things that you see in this movie. You really grow to appreciate. The storytelling is so good, and it's just so heartwarming, I think. And again, like, it's good for kids to watch and the adults to really appreciate the story, because it's pretty mature for what it is. And unfortunately, because it's animated, again, it's taken less seriously, and a lot of people see it as a kids movie, and that's why a lot of babysitters just buy the movie, pop it in, and have kids look at it, and meanwhile they're just too busy doing something else. This movie really, really, really deserves more viewers and more people buying tickets to see that movie. It's a fantastic movie, and I would definitely go out to see it again if I had the chance to do so. But unfortunately, I actually have plans coming up, including my trip to Japan, because and kind of funny because Kubo is Japanese themed, so I don't know. But anyways, Kubo and the Two Strings definitely deserves way more viewers than a lot of the animated movies that came out this year. My God, it blows those other movies away, especially with all the hard work, the storytelling, the characters, the setting, the themes. Everything in this movie is a complete package in its quality, and it's just so good. You all have to see it if you love animation, if you really appreciate animation, especially with stop animation from yours truly, Laika. Laika has done a lot of these movies, including Paranorman. Sorry about that. And then I think Coraline, and so on and so forth. Movies with stop animation. There are some CG going on in this movie for Kubo, but for the most part, the characters are stop animated, and again, you will really grow to appreciate it, and it's just so good that it actually really plays tricks to your eyes at times, and you can't really tell if it's either CG or stop animated, because it's just so flawless, and the way it just moves and the expressions on their faces are well done, and it really helps with the scenes. It really helps show the emotions of each character in each scene, and it's just, again, it really brings it all together. So that is pretty much my summary and my thoughts without spoiling it and stuff like that. And if I had to give it a rating, I would definitely give it a solid 9 out of 10. It's such a good movie. It's such a visual masterpiece. It looks really good. It's really cool. I love the characters, and it's unfortunately, it's one of those super underrated movies that are just so good, and it gets bombarded by all the other movies that came out this year, like Sausage Party, unfortunately, which is another movie I watched. It's not bad, but it's just Kubo is it's just I don't know. It's just so much better. It's a much better all around movie. Um, it's just it looks good. Everything else, the content, is just so qual. It's just boasts quality, and I really appreciate the hard work from Micah. And again, this really deserves your viewing, your time. So if you have the time to go to the movies to really see an animated film, or if you know again, if you really appreciate animated films, especially with stop animation, go out and see Kubo. They really deserve it. They really deserve your time and your viewing. And I guarantee you will love this movie. So that's pretty much it. And again, I gave it a solid 9 out of 10. It's again, it's just so good. And when it comes to comparing to Zootopia, I feel like they're on very different levels or something like that, or they're just different things. It's kind of like apples and oranges. They're both good fruits to eat, but they have different flavors. And that's how I feel like with Kubo and Zootopia. I really love Zootopia and I really love Kubo, and I think they're pretty much equal to each other on different levels or different planes or whatever, and they both have very different themes going on. Holy crap! But anyways, so thank you guys so much for watching my non-spoiler portion of my review. Now in the next video, I will actually go through the spoilers. So if you don't get spoiled, don't watch that video. But anyways, thank you guys so much. If you have any comments, thoughts, or opinions, leave me down below. I'll gladly read them and take my time to do so. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Excuse me, for more videos. Really highly appreciate it as always. And please go out and watch Kubo. I really highly recommend it. Again, I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's such a masterpiece for just animation, really. I'm really trying to experiment with the new format here. I had this green screen going on. Really don't know what to do with what's gonna go on in the back, but I'll try to put like a TV screen or TV mock-up TV and put the movie running in the background or something like that. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll do that in post, and you guys will definitely see that. But anyways, hope you guys like this format of the review, and we're pretty much gonna from now on do it like this. I don't know about the green screen, but we're definitely gonna have a review portion, like a non-spoilers portion in one video, and a spoilers discussion in another video. Kind of like what other channels do. And yeah, I think it makes sense that way. So hope you guys like the newer format. And if you have any comments about that, leave them down below. I'd love to read them. It really always helps on what kind of videos I make or something like that. So I will see you in the next video. I will see you in the spoiler portion of this review. I'll see you then. Sean out. As I was explaining the story, so after the mother sacrifices herself, and Kubo begins his journey to find the pieces to fight the god, or AKA her the mother's grandfather, the father of the mother, and Kubo's grandfather. Okay, so he's the god, he's the main villain, and pretty much Kubo is the one to fight him because he has powers. So he's kind of like a half god, half human type of thing, sort of, and so that's where he begins his journey, and the monkey is actually the monkey actually comes from the charm that you see in the beginning of the movie, and the monkey comes to life because the mother was able to use her magic to really bring the monkey to life, and the monkey acts as the mentor, the guide for Kubo as he journeys on, and kind of acts like the guardian, also the bodyguard, and sort of kind of serves a somewhat motherly figure to Kubo, and they kind of go through some rough times a little bit. They have to sleep inside a carcass of a whale, and they have to, put up with some nasty food, but they have to eat because it's all about survival, and so they went through the snow and stuff like that, and then later on they encounter um, the beetle who does the bow and arrow and stuff like that later on inside a Buddha statue, and and he explains himself who he is and stuff like that. He was once a warrior or samurai, but he lost his memory, so he doesn't really know who he is. All he knows is that he's a beetle, but he somehow has instincts of a samurai, and that's why he has his talent as an archer. And he's really good at it. He's kind of like a Robin Hood type of thing, or Green Arrow, or Hawkeye, that kind of level of archery. It's really cool to see, a beetle doing stuff like that. He has, got forearms, stuff like that, and of course, and like I said before, it's a curse. So that's why he lost his memory in the process, and he's stuck as what he is, a beetle. But nonetheless, because he is a samurai, he also remembers somehow that he was a student of Hanzo. Hanzo is the father of Kubo, and he was like pretty much like a legendary warrior, some say, and he was pretty much like a legendary samurai sort of. So Hanzo was viewed as this threat to the gods because how powerful he was. So that's why, even for a human, so that's why the gods wanted him gone. And in the process, Hanzo eventually dies, but he protected his wife and Kubo. And the beetle mentions that he remembers or recalls that he was a student of Hanzo's, and that's why Kubo brought up the fact that he is the son of Hanzo. Proving, and he proved that with a mark on his back or the robe, which had the symbol, which was a beetle, and kind of catch what's going on here. So the beetle pretty much is like, whoa, this is so awesome. It's really an honor to see the son of Hanzo, especially Hanzo being dead, and the beetle pretty much pretty much said that he give his life to protect him and will help him on his quest. And so pretty much the beetle joins Kubo and the monkey. So they continue their journey to find the pieces, and first they find the sword, and the sword was stuck on a skull of a giant of some kind of like, I think it was a giant demon or something like that. It was but it was a skeleton, a corpse, and it was animated somehow with the sword stuck on his head, and it was giving them trouble, and they had to fight it, and they had to look for the sword on the head, but it was they were having a difficult time because there were a lot of swords, and they were just looking for them, and they were just breaking them and or whacking the skeleton with the swords to see if they're real. Of course, the fake ones break, or not the fake ones, but like the regular swords break, and the sword is supposed to be unbreakable. So that's how they're looking for the sword, and they eventually find a sword, and the skeleton dies out because the sword is out. The next one was the impenetrable chest piece, or chest armor, and that was located in the sea. But before that, the beetle and the monkey started to get along. The monkey was, of course, distrusting of the beetle, but after that, they were kind of growing on each other, and they were actually kind of showing some hints of liking each other more than just liking each other, or just more than just being friends. It kind of just it's starting to kind of connect, and Kubo was like, what, but I don't know. I thought it was really funny. But anyways, they come across a river or something like that, like a body of water, and they were just kind of stuck. But Kubo was able to make a boat with a bunch of leaves, and it was really cool seeing that happening too. So they rowed on the boat. They caught some fish. The beetle showed Kubo how to use a bow and arrow, and Kubo was able to hit some fish or salmon, and got some food that way. And the monkey and the beetle and the Kubo really started to really bond with each other, through eating and stuff like that, which was something really cool as well. But after that, they eventually find out that the chess piece is under the sea, and the beetle tries to go down, and Kubo goes after him because he took too long, so he was really worried. And the chess piece was guarded by this monster who has a bunch of eyes, and those eyes like put people into a trance, and that's where they pull them down and eat them. Kubo is almost pretty much monster food for this guy, and the beetle helps him out. Meanwhile, the monkey is fighting one of the sisters, the evil sisters, that the mother was fighting earlier, and the sister and one of the sisters and the monkey were fighting, and eventually the monkey was able to win, but not without some injuries. And also they were able to get the chest armor, or the breastplate or whatever. They were able to get that, and return to the boat, and somehow Kubo was able to find out and connect the pieces that the monkey is his mother, because of the mother using her magic to bring the monkey to life. It pretty much is she pretty much put her spirit into that monkey, and that's how the monkey came to life. That wooden monkey charm came to life, and Kubo finds out that the monkey is his mom. So that happened. So they continue their journey, and the beetle and Kubo are really bonding, and of course the monkey as well. And eventually, when they reach to this castle or fortress, they're looking for the helmet, but they couldn't find the helmet, and eventually they go into this fortress, and they're looking for the helmet, which is the last piece in order to fight the god. And they don't really find a piece, but they find kind of clues as to some of the mysteries or some of the questions that they've had earlier in the movie. And eventually they find they encounter the other sister, and there's a battle going on, and the monkey has a hard time because she's injured. And eventually they revealed that the beetle is none other than Hanzo. I kind of sort of saw that coming. Like, I started to kind of connect the pieces along the way. I'm like, kind of wonder, is he Hanzo? Because there's the beetle as the symbol, and he's a beetle, and he's like a warrior and stuff like that, and he really was bonding with Kubo, but not only Kubo, but with the monkey as well, who's also Kubo's mother. So I don't know, something was clicking in my head. It's like, I think this guy may be Hanzo. And of course, he was revealed as Hanzo, and you're just kind of like, what? And eventually, I guess he accepts it, and I think it like kind of breaks that part of the curse, and he kind of just acknowledges the monkey and Kubo as his true family. And but unfortunately he gets killed because the sister stabs in the back, and the monkey was succumbing to her injuries earlier, and also exhaustion. So she was, and also the magic that was keeping the monkey alive really is fading. So that's why she was kind of dying as well. And eventually Kubo was able to defeat the second sister, but his shamisen breaks in the process, like the strings break. But he was able to fix it with 2 strings that came from his parents. So one came from the bow and arrow or the bow of his father, Hanzo, and the other string came from the hair of his mother. So that's why that's how he got the 2 strings on the guitar, the shamisen. And I'm assuming that's why it's called Kubo and the Two Strings, because those two strings are the symbols of his parents. And really unfortunate that his parents met their end. It is really sad to see them die. So soon after that, he realizes that the helmet is the bell of his of the village that he once visited and was loved, by the people of that village. And so he goes back there, finds the helmet, and confronts his grandfather, the god. So eventually, his grandfather, they confront each other, say some stuff, and the grandfather transforms into this godly, dragon-like monster, and Kubo starts fighting him, and Kubo put up a good fight, and eventually he couldn't overpower him. But before that, you see the people have survived an earlier attack from the two sisters that Kubo encountered earlier because he stayed out too late at night, and you'll kind of know what I'm talking about when you watch the movie. But so the people survived, and Kubo told them to kind of stay back and stuff like that. And of course, Kubo is fighting his grandfather, and Kubo is pretty much overpowered, so he runs to the forest where all the graves are. He pretty much uses his shamisen. And pretty much that's like his true weapon, and that's how he really is able to show his magic, his powers, and eventually he overpowers him, and to the point where he converts him into a human. And the grandfather goes through a similar process that Hanzo went through as he turned to a beetle. So he lost his memories, and it kind of have to made up some stories for the grandfather. Kubo is saying that he's his grandson, and the people telling him that he's like the most friendly, most nicest old man in the village and stuff like that. And then, of course, the grandfather kind of pretty much buys it, because he doesn't remember anything. And there's this, like I said, there's a strong theme of storytelling going on. Having their beginning of the story, having their end of the story, and and the grandfather was always like, you will meet the end of your story. Your story ends here, that kind of thing. And pretty much, his story was pretty much reset, and it was pretty much kind of like a happily ever after kind of thing. Kind of bittersweet because Kubo lost his parents along the way, and he finally, was able to kind of understand and pays his respects and praise to his parents, and then he really starts to see the spirits of his parents, and sets them off in the river and stuff like that, because it's kind of like a tradition a long time ago to light these lanterns, and these lanterns are like symbols of the loved ones that have been lost, and and eventually when they come to the real world from the spirit world, they're kind of just like paying a visit. They have to send them back to the spirit world as like a way of respect, and they do that by casting off these lanterns to the river, and they sail off, and they actually transform into golden herons, which you see earlier in the movie. They are pretty much like symbols of the spirits flying free and stuff like that. And Kubo does that, and pretty much the movie ends with Kubo seeing with the spirits of his parents, and you finally get to see what Hanzo looks like, and he suspiciously looks like Hanzo from Overwatch, which is really funny. He even has like the little spikes on the side of his head and some grays and stuff like that, and the samurai ponytail and everything really looks like Hanzo, except he's a lot skinnier. But you kind of get the picture if you saw the movie. But anyways, this is such a really heartwarming story. Really, really hit your heart, and really appreciated the hard work that they put into the story and actually the animation itself. Being stop animation. Again, I really, really loved it, and if I ever get another chance to see the movie, I will take that chance. And I really would love to see show this movie to my other friends that kind of missed out on it, and they really deserve to see it as well. And of course, if you have the chance to go see it in theaters, please do that. Again, they really deserve it. It really deserves your views. It deserves your time, and it deserves your uh, $13 or however much tickets are in your area. It really deserves it, especially if it's with it competing against like Sausage Party, Storks, Secret Life of Pets, Angry Birds, and so on and so forth. Man, all these other anime movies that came out this year. Kubo really deserves it. I think it's pretty much the best. Of course, again, Kubo and the Two Strings really deserves your time, really deserves your attention, and you will really, really be happy that you saw this movie, I think. So, that's pretty much all I have to say for the spoilers discussion. And thank you guys so much if you guys saw my review portion of Kubo and the Two Strings. And again, it's just so awesome and really, really disheartening to see and hear about other movies doing better than this one, especially the animated one. So that'll be it. If you have any comments, thoughts, or opinions, leave me down below. I would love to read them, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for this channel. Really high appreciate as always, and you'll definitely will be able to see more videos like this. Again, thank you guys so much for watching on my review, on my non-spoiler portion, and this portion of Kubo and the Two Strings. So I will stop talking because I don't know. I just love that movie that much. I would just talk this much. So again, thank you guys so much. I will see you guys in the next video. See ya. Or like a highly figure. He was like sort of like a threat to the gods because. Oh my god. What? Oh shit, that scared me.